Today, we're diving into how SKC, a global materials giant, is basically re-engineering its entire business for a greener future.
It's a huge question for our time, right? How does a traditional manufacturing powerhouse pivot to solve some of our biggest environmental problems? Well, SKC's journey might just be the blueprint. Let's see how they're pulling it off.
All right, first up, let's talk about how SKC is literally powering the future of how we get around. They're a massive player in the high-tech materials that are driving the electric vehicle revolution.
Now, we all think of the motor as the engine in an electric vehicle, but the real heart, the true powerhouse, is the battery. And deep inside that battery, copper foil is absolutely essential. It's this incredibly thin sheet that acts like a superhighway for electrons, a vital piece of every single rechargeable battery.
And believe me, demand is just exploding. That 73.1%, that is the massive quarter-over-quarter sales growth for SKC's copper foil in North America alone. It just goes to show that their materials are right at the center of the EV boom, especially as production starts ramping up closer to home. Okay, so from powering green transportation, let's pivot to another huge global problem: plastics. SKC is tackling this head-on by creating plastics that are literally designed to, well, disappear.
The magic ingredient here is a material called PBAT. Now that's a mouthful, but what it means is that it's a biodegradable polymer. So when it ends up in soil, microorganisms just naturally break it down completely. And here's the crucial part: no microplastics, no harmful gunk left behind.
And we're not just talking about flimsy shopping bags here. Think bigger, more high-value applications. Imagine disposable diapers that can actually biodegrade, or agricultural films that protect crops and then just decompose right back into the soil. I mean, that is a total game changer for so many industries.
And this image just beautifully illustrates the core idea. SKC sees these products like leaves on a tree. They serve their purpose, and then they naturally return to the earth, completing the cycle. It's such a powerful way to connect a high-tech industrial product with a completely natural process.
So you might be wondering, how does a company this big manage such a massive transformation? Well, it all comes down to having a crystal clear master plan. And for SKC, that plan is their 2040 net zero blueprint. And listen, this isn't some vague, far-off promise. This is a concrete, step-by-step roadmap. They started with their 2020 emissions as a baseline, and they've set a really serious goal: cut greenhouse gases by 42% by 2030. That's a huge commitment on the way to hitting 100% net zero by 2040. I really love this quote from their CEO. It highlights something so important about their strategy. Instead of just rushing for quick wins, they're taking the time to make sure every single step, every investment, is pointed in the right, sustainable direction. A great plan is one thing, but as we all know, execution is everything. So let's look at the proof. How is SKC actually turning these big goals into real, tangible actions? First off, they're getting their products validated by the people who matter. Their biodegradable materials have earned certifications from the top authorities in Europe, the US, Australia, and right in their home market of South Korea. This isn't just marketing speak, this is a global stamp of scientific approval. Next, clean energy. And they're not taking a one-size-fits-all approach. Nope, they're being really smart about it, tailoring their strategy to each region. So in Malaysia, they're using renewable energy certificates, but in Poland, they're locking in long-term deals to buy green power directly. It's a really flexible, pragmatic way to get to 100% renewable energy. And this whole journey isn't just about the planet. It's also about people. This number, 9, represents SKC's goal to get all 9 of its major sites, both at home and abroad, achieving the highest standard for occupational health and safety by 2026. And their commitment doesn't just stop at their own factory gates. It ripples outward. They're holding their suppliers to high ESG standards, their employees are actually getting out there and teaching environmental education, and their main facilities are sending pretty much zero waste to landfills. It's a truly holistic approach. So, when you put all these pieces together, the high-tech innovation, the disappearing plastics, this comprehensive action plan, what does it all add up to? Is this a fundamental shift in the company's DNA, like a new corporate compass? And this, right here, is the key takeaway. For SKC, ESG, environmental, social, and governance, it's not just a buzzword they slap on a report. It's become their new operating system. It guides every single decision they make, because today, that's what investors demand, it's what customers want, and frankly, it's just essential for long-term success. So, this leaves us with a really big question. We've seen how SKC is weaving sustainability directly into its high-tech business model. Could this be the new standard? Is this the path that all major industrial companies will eventually have to follow to not just survive, but actually thrive in the decades ahead?